Welcome to cooking cheap, easy, and tasty meals. I'm going to make my favorite lemon pie recipe. And I've made a lot of lemon pies in my life, and I've eaten a lot of lemon pies, but this is the one I like best. The recipe is from a bunch of different sources. I think the one that I am most familiar with is Glenn and Friends. I'll put a link to it in the notes. But I watched them make it a year or so ago, and it was very similar to another one I'd made, and I think that's the recipe I've stuck with since then. Now, pretty simple. Start off with 3 egg yolks. Now you could beat these with a whisk if you're really good at it, but today I'm more interested in getting it done quickly. So I'm supposed to beat them until they're very light. Now that's pretty well mixed. Now we're supposed to add 3 tablespoons of hot water. It doesn't say boiling, it just says hot. And I've only used tap water in the past, so I'm going to stick with that. It's pretty much as hot as my tap will make it. And I'm going to add 1/2 cup of sugar and the juice of 3 lemons. It's supposed to be 2 lemons, but I got less than 1/2 cup. 2 lemons didn't do it, and that's what the recipe called for, so I went on and did a 3rd lemon. Now, we're going to mix this up till they're thoroughly mixed. Now I'll add the rest of the lemon juice. I'm going to add another 1/2 cup of sugar. Now I'm going to add the zest of 3 lemons. The smell of lemon coming off this is amazing. I'm going to let this rest for just a minute. Now I don't have a double boiler, but I'm going to take this mixture and I put water in my pan. I'm going to put this over it and I'm going to cook this until it thickens. At least that's the plan. Get a little hotter before I put that on top. Okay, the water's beginning to boil, so I'm going to put this back in here. Now this is one of those things where you probably are going to have to stir it for a while. Now you could make this with a graham cracker crust, vanilla wafer crust. I just happen to have been practicing on my pie dough making skills, so I have 2 pie crusts that I just finished making, so I'm going to put this in there instead. Actually, I like a good butter crust anyway. I did par-bake the crust. Everything's beginning to look more mixed than it did originally. Definitely thickening. I'm going to say that's ready. And I'm going to take it off. Okay. I've allowed this to cool, and I took the egg whites and beat them so that they are nice and fluffy. And I am going to mix the egg yolk mixture, which has all the sugar and the salt and everything in it, and lemon. We'll mix this together. Try and get a nice mixture. You don't have to be too gentle with it. It's not something that's an issue, but I'm just trying to get every egg yolk mixture integrated into the egg whites. It'll make it a fluffier lemon mixture. Alright, looks like it's pretty well mixed. Now I'm going to take my prepared pie crust. Now, this is just a plain pie crust. You could use graham cracker, vanilla wafer, whatever you want, but I'm using just a par-baked pie crust. I like this one because it's flaky and has a nice flavor with it. Biggest problem with it is I didn't get it quite as good on the side as I would have liked. And it's probably going to leak. I'm hoping it doesn't, but it might. We'll see. Now I'm going to put this in a 350-degree oven for half an hour. I'm going to watch it until it basically starts turning medium brown on top. It's going to be somewhere around half an hour, I believe. Okay, here is the lemon pie after it has browned. It took about 22 minutes to get to a nice, it's pretty even browning. I didn't want to overdo it. I think that's brown enough. We're going to let it cool. I'm going to refrigerate it, and then we're going to try it. Okay, I had a little problem with the pie overnight when I was moving it, but it should still be usable. I dropped it. So, I'm afraid I made a mess of it. But in general, this is what we're shooting for. Every time I've made this pie, I've had one problem or another, but the flavor is just worth the trouble. But the biggest problem I have is I put too much lemon juice in it, I believe. And when you put too much lemon juice in it, it doesn't set completely right. So be careful about how much lemon juice you put in. But it doesn't really matter because it still just tastes great. Okay. So, yeah, I didn't get a nice piece out, though did I? Okay. Oops. A little loose. But even though it's not, I think, again, I had a little too much lemon juice. But even so, it's not pretty. I've made prettier ones. But the flavor, if you like lemon, this is about as intensely lemon as you can get. Again, I probably put too much lemon juice in. But still. Flaky crust. And the filling is so sweet and intense, you really do not need vanilla wafer crust or graham cracker crust. It didn't add to it. A regular crust seems to be better. If you get a chance, try it. I'm sure you'll have a little more luck if you don't drop it like I did, and it will set better. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give us a like. Thank you.